Hopefully that's live. There we go. Hello everybody, welcome to this stream where we have to discuss Leeds United's most recent signing, which is what I'm going to call him, because it feels like James Trafford is right around the corner from being announced as a Leeds United player. I'm going to be speaking relatively quietly today. That is for a good reason. It is for the reason that the baby is napping on me at this very moment. So I'm going to try and keep things relatively stum, just to sort of avoid any issues around that. But we got some pretty nice progress on a James Trafford deal as time went on, I believe. Just for a little bit of context, let's hop over to monitor number 2. Here we go. This is a private jet that is flying from Manchester over to Leeds, and this caught my interest yesterday afternoon because I thought this is sort of interesting. It's very weird that there is a flight from Manchester to Leeds at all, never mind a flight from Manchester to Leeds at 8 in the morning on a Monday, after Leeds have been deep into negotiations for James Trafford, having those conversations with Manchester City. Now, it's an airline that we've seen very strongly linked with Leeds United moves in the past. I have actively, in my head, a list of various sort of airlines and stuff that do private flights for Leeds United. I've looked into it a little bit further, and I've heard from a source that it is a club-related flight as well, which is very interesting. It's good to have some sort of confirmation on that side of things too. And in addition to all of that, we kind of need to consider that I've had conversations with some other people as well who are saying not only that the move is done, but have provided a couple of detailed bits and bobs, and I'm not going to go into those because it's not my place to, and I want to sort of verify all of that first. But it's very much looking like a move for James Trafford is on. So, very excited about that, and I thought we'd do a little bit of a fly-along stream because it's a Monday morning. We're going to get the week started with a little bit of business that is genuinely colossal. I do honestly think it would have, I agree with Neil, it would have been faster to get a helicopter to Thorpe Arch and that would have done the job. But yeah, okay, so to explain the holiday thing, I know this is a thing that a lot of people have brought up already. Yes, it is correct that he is on holiday, and it is the FIFA-mandated holiday period, and that is fine. However, being the FIFA-mandated holiday period does not necessarily mean that he can't do anything else or be anywhere else. We need to remember that Tariq Muharemovic was also on his holiday period when we signed him. We need to keep in mind that dozens of players from around the world have signed for new clubs, having been at the World Cup. And yes, James Trafford is still on his holiday period. He will be unavailable to play for Leeds United until... Sorry, that was a fun hiccup. Will be unavailable to play for Leeds United until the 9th of August, the 8th of August, which means that the Leipzig match will very much likely not feature James Trafford. However, looking beyond that, he can still sign contracts, he can still not train, but he can still do sort of media PR stuff, which I think is another sort of interesting aspect of it, because this sort of answers what Tony has said in the most recent comment on the stream, asking why you would use the Jet 1. Let's be honest, the M62, nightmare on Monday mornings. 2, something that I very specifically noted is that, and this isn't like a guaranteed thing, this is just a theory, but it's very interesting that it is kit announcement day today as well, which says that if you are going to be flying someone over in a bit of a hurry, if you're going to be sort of saying, look, can you get over to Leeds as soon as possible, maybe there's going to be a little bit of an announcement in a new kit. Admittedly, it doesn't make a huge lot of sense, in my opinion, for James Trafford to be the person that you unveil the kit with, because he's a goalkeeper. That would be absolute nonsense. But at the same time, it's not the worst PR look, so it's a little bit of a positive. What happened to Trafford being in the US? Sorry if you've answered this, I'm catching up. So, It was just a sort of stab in the dark theory that I had that Trafford was still in the US because it would have made sense for him to sort of meet up with the squad. But then having realised, yeah, actually, holiday period, in all likelihood, he's on holiday. I've heard a couple of whispers saying that he was in Ibiza with his girlfriend or something like that. And that side of things, I don't know. Let's be honest, he's got a personal life. I'm kind of glad he has a personal life. If he didn't, then we're overexerting ourselves in terms of sort of taking free time away from footballers and all that kind of stuff. I wonder if any of these are Leeds Bradford. No, because we're looking south. That would make no sense. We get the tiny runway over there. Nice. But it would be a case of sort of stealing someone's personal life from them. But in the event that he's holidaying anywhere in Europe, it can be a case of he simply flew back to Manchester, pick things up, have a chat with the club, flying on to Leeds to get a deal done. That's my thought on what's going on. The home goalie kit. I thought we'd seen the home goalie kit, but I don't know. There is some word on the fee or package, and I'm sure that'll come out later today. I don't want to run with it in case it's in case it's incorrect, and B, because I would like other people to have a shot at that information first. Huge signing, max publicity. Yeah, I mean it's one of those where you're gonna show it off. You're signing England's next number one goalkeeper. You're gonna want to sort of flex that. You're gonna want to go, look, fine, we're gonna get what we can out of the day, which we already know involves a kit drop. Which, let's be honest, we already know what the kit is. Hold on. Leeds United 26-27 home kit. And in case anyone's not seen it, I'm just going to drop what that home kit looks like. There we go. This is what it's going to look like reportedly, taken from an Adidas store, which there's no reason that that's not going to be an accurate version of the kit. It's literally in an Adidas shop. It just released a little bit early in, I believe it was Israel that they said, but yeah, it's looking very much like that's going to be it. And if it isn't, I would be genuinely shocked. Yeah, we're using a tiny runway. I like it. As someone confirmed the signing then, tune in late. It's not fully confirmed on club end, which I know is what a lot of people sort of use as the signing is happening and confirmed and all that kind of stuff. However, I've got it from multiple people that I very much trust to be correct in this, that he is on his way to Leeds United, and that this is a club-linked flight, and if this is a club-linked flight from Manchester, there is nothing else that would realistically make sense for us to be looking at in terms of flights. If he's coming into Leeds himself, then a deal is done, but wouldn't that have leaked? You'd think so, but then again, over the weekend, I can see that A, City are very good at keeping moves quiet, and B, Leeds are very good at keeping moves quiet, and we are in the air. Lovely stuff. Any flights from Deutschland that coincide maybe gone under the radar, so to speak. 2 signings and a kit launch. 2 signings and a kit launch in one day would be a bit much. I don't know if I can check flight radar in a second tab to see if there's anything coming in from Germany. I believe he was training at Leverkusen. Let's have a look. I can check that, actually. In terms of private jets for the rest of the day, there's one from Farnborough, one from Liverpool, which is interesting, one from Heraklion in Greece. It just makes me want to watch the Odyssey again. One from Newquay at 6:15 p.m, and that is it. So, have we got a spy on lookout at Yeading? I don't believe so, but if anyone in the chat lives at the airport, that's not a thing that happens. But if anyone does in fact live at the airport, let me know, and then we'll see how it'll go. There's no way we'd announce these 2 in one day, both massive coups. The cool want to milk them. That, or they want to milk one really, really massive day. Like, I can see both being a potential argument. Oh, I live near that airport. You can't see it yet. Hang on. I'll wait for the plane to turn around a bit more. Didn't we have this with Ramazani? What's a fly-along stream? I think so. I like doing fly-alongs, that's why. They're a bit of fun, they're a bit different. I'm in Yeadon, I'll leave work and check. Thank you very much. I love the commitment. Brant isn't coming direct from Germany. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, I live near that one. I think that's Blackpool Airport at least. Or Liverpool? That'd be... One of these is Blackpool. I don't know which. But that looked sea-ish enough. Where's this one flying to? This one is flying to Leeds Bradford Airport, which is one of these two, I think. Oh, or it's that one. Because we're now flying northeast. Stop turning. Stop turning. No, you don't need to turn that much. It's not that one. That's too south to be Leeds Bradford. As usual, by the way, we will be looking at the flight path in the bottom right, and we'll have an idea of roughly where we are. If anyone is under the route at any point and fancies popping their head out the window and getting a picture of a plane, that'd be hilarious. I always quite like doing that and seeing what it looks like on the old Twitter. Also, estimated landing time is now 8:44, which is in 16 minutes' time. Again, it'd be so much easier if everyone had a private jet and could just launch themselves to various places. Could be flying in from his holiday to Manchester, then on the private jet to Leeds, then flying back out to complete his holiday. That's my thinking, especially when you consider that this plane initially came into Manchester from Malaga. So it sort of adds up a little bit. I live under the Manchester flight path, but that's not very helpful. It's fine. Yeah, but if anyone does happen to get any snaps and happens to live in, for example, Stockport, which we'll be flying over in a moment, ping them to me on Twitter. That'd be quite fun. Anyway, so basically, Trafford in, kit launch. I don't know what time we're expecting the kit launch. I would have initially said 9 in the morning, because that's when Leeds tend to do these things. However, in the event that this is James Trafford's flight, which it looks like it very much is, then you get a little bit of a question mark, because in the event that this is James Trafford's flight and you're flying him in for an announcement on kit day, you probably want an early picture of him being in the kit. That was Liverpool Airport we just flew over. I don't think it was. We just left Manchester. We didn't fly all the way to Liverpool. Why would you fly to Liverpool if you're going to Leeds? It did Valencia to Malaga, then Malaga to Manchester, then Leeds, but there's a lot of major fires at Valencia. Where did Valencia come from in that conversation? I'm very confused. I can see the runway from my house. Oh, that helps. Yeah. So if you happen to see England's number 1, next up being Leeds' number 1, get off a plane, that would be absolutely wonderful. And hopefully that is the case. And yeah, I'm going to take it that this one's Leeds, because if not, then confusion. But Leeds has 2 airports. And that's Leeds Bradford, isn't it? Yeah, because that looks like central Leeds. Anyway, regardless, we're flying over Staley Bridge right now, which is just to our northwest, over here. That's where it flew yesterday before going to Manchester. Okay. But we're going onwards over the Pennines, which hopefully is where he will be staying for the foreseeable future. Leeds East is out near Wetherby, yes, which is why I believe that that's this lad over here, because that's central Leeds, which would make this Leeds Bradford? Probably. We'll see. But once we have signed James Trafford, which is looking like it is likely going to be the case now, what are we all predicting for the next move? Are we all thinking a Julian Brandt signing? I will say pop a number 1 in the chat if you do think that Julian Brandt comes. Pop a 2 in the chat. Not a 2, a 0 in the chat. There we go. If you think he doesn't. You see, that we're going binary now. We're going quite smart. Yes is 1, no is 0. I'm keeping it in mind. Because I keep forgetting this. Rich Bedford thinks yes. Dord, Neil, Alistair, Turtle, Harvey LUFC, Pat Dunn, all of you are... Wait, Alistair thinks no. Pat Kirby. We've got a couple of Pats going on, which is a hell of a lot of 1s. The only 0 so far are Jim, Wayne K, Can't see any departures back to Manchester today. I mean, to be fair, if he's gone to Manchester to pick up his stuff, then I don't see why he'd go back. Plus, then you got to go to Manchester. Sorry, I tried saying the word and it hurt my throat. Plus, then you got to like go there, and you don't really want to be doing that all, do you? So, 1 or 0, I keep hoping, but I've been disappointed before. We've all been disappointed before. We're all Leeds fans, but it's hopeful. Wouldn't surprise me if Brandt is already signed and ready to reveal the kit today. That'd be incredible. Just the effect of mic drop off, by the way, he's been here all along, would be stunning. They've just been hiding him at the training facility for however long. I think this flight is on to France afterwards. Oh, afterwards. Okay, I thought there was awards. I don't think he's tossed the coin yet. Coin? Oh, as in Julian Brandt making a decision. The baby's awake, the baby's awake, the baby's awake, the baby's awake. Oh no, the baby's awake. Okay. That's fine, because we're supposedly landing in about 6 minutes, and then that should be okay. And we are getting a proper shift on right now. Over home Firth at the moment. Don't jam the keyboard. You mentioned Blackpool there, nowhere near. No, but I could see on the horizon. I'd love the meltdown by other clubs if we got these two. It'd be great, especially the Newcastle one. Hello, Huddersfield. Hello, Huddersfield Stadium down there. I don't even know what Huddersfield Stadium's called at the moment. Hello, yes. I just know that it's a stadium that no one particularly wants to go to, and that's quite funny to me. I'll see if I can get a snap of the plane. That'd be fantastic. If you do, I will retweet it. That'd be lovely. Deal agreed. I believe so, yes. There is a lot of very positive noise around a deal being agreed. I don't want to go into the specifics of what that deal is, but it looks like it is sorted, which is genuinely fantastic for Leeds. It's wonderful little bits of progress. John Smiths, there we go. Thank you very much. I knew it was an absolute irrelevance, like the football club that lived there. That was mean, but you know what? It was funny, so it was deserved. Up to our north a little bit, we've got Dewsbury. I imagine we'll be doing a cycle of the city centre before we end up landing at the airport. Who even is this Trafford bloke anyway? That's a good question, isn't it? I am quite annoyed at myself, because in the video or stream that I was going to do, that was going to be effectively announcing that we'd signed James Trafford, my plan was to do like a Old Trafford / New Trafford kind of joke. It was going to be something quite fun like that. And I have somewhat disappointed myself by not doing that. As Robson Clark in the chat says, by the way, smash a like and subscribe. That'd be wonderful. I am currently, let's have a look how far away I am from 8,000 subscribers. 7,940 subscribers. However, 50% of my watch time is people who aren't subscribed. So, if you can hear the baby go, that's kind of cute. If, like, an eighth of the people that are watching this were to subscribe, then it would get me across that 9,000 subscriber barrier, which would be absolutely wonderful. Which is like I guess a quarter of people that aren't subscribed, maybe? I don't know. But that'd be lovely. Thank you very much if you could do so. Also, fantastic to have so many of you on board today. It's always a little bit of an adventure. Good morning, Jon and Lisa. Is this John or is this Lisa? That's always hard to tell. We're currently flying over Shaky Wakey, having just gone past Dewsbury back there. Molly, over here. I miss you, Molly. Although I'm going to try and find the ground then, because which of you is Gelded Road? I think you're Gelded Road. No, you're not Gelded Road. You're the motorway. Well, that confuses me a little bit, doesn't it? Where's the stadium hiding? We'll find it in a moment. The baby is currently grabbing at the microphone, which makes things confusing. Thank you very much, Martin. I appreciate that. This is Lisa. Hello there, Lisa. Is he going to move house or fly in every day? Clearly not a fan of the M62. I imagine it would be a case of moving to Wetherby. Probably the majority are in Harrogate or Wetherby, aren't they? Especially if it's on a permanent deal, which it looks like it is always the case. How come you're always left holding the baby? Because this time I volunteered to, and I like cuddles, you know. Who's the pin confirmed by? Can't see anything by Fab. Ornstein Jacobs, don't tell me Graham's manager and exclusive. None of the above people that I very, very much trust. Just seen it fly over my house, and you didn't catch a picture. Subscribe for the sake of the baby. Yes! There we go. If you don't subscribe, then the baby's going to be sad. Just for clarity, by the way, I keep saying the baby instead of a name. The baby does have a name. Just I am always going to be on the side of if she wants to be a known part of the YouTube at any point, that's her choice rather than mine. So I'm going to give her the sort of flexibility on that one. Did you see the Plettenberg Romano meltdown on Twitter? I did. It was hilarious. They're having a little bit of a cat fight, and it is it's delicious stuff. The fact that they're just like complaining at each other, the sheer hit of Plettenberg going, really? Because I'm not the one that tweets out exclusive then deletes it when I'm wrong. Oh, I'm not the one that tweets out score lines and then deletes them because I got it wrong. Oh, Florian, what a guy. We can see Elland Road down here, I believe, which is soon to be... I just got farted on. Which is soon to be where James Trafford will be holding court and stopping every single shot that comes his way because he's that good. With the low fields along here. I believe that's the low fields. Yeah, because if that's the motorway, low fields. Where's Gelded Road gone? Gelded Road? Gelded Road. No, Gelded Road. Okay. I forgot that train line was on an angle. That's a separate train line. Things are confusing. Just showing what we're following on the screen. It is a flight from Manchester to Leeds, which we are like 99% sure contains James Trafford, who is on the move. How do we know it's him and why so early? I believe it's so early to get all the media and medical and signings and everything done. Hello there, Headingley down there. Primarily because in my opinion at least, it being kit release day is the perfect day to get this sort of deal done and like wrap everything up, because it would be fantastic to be able to drop a kit and a player announcement on the same day. That is genuinely colossal for Leeds. This is so much better than watching GMTV. I'm glad. I really like it. Right, if anyone is able to capture a picture of the plane, I'm posting my X/Twitter in the chat. If you could ping it in my direction and tag me, I will do a cheeky little retweet for you. It'd be absolutely wonderful. Also pop a like on the stream, that would be fantastic. And subscribe, that as well. I realise I keep forgetting to ask people to subscribe during stuff, which is a shame. I know, everyone needs to. I agree. But as we sidle on in to Leeds Bradford Airport, I think getting this deal done would be a colossal part of the window. I think it will be the signing of the window so far by a fairly comfortable margin by any club, and is ultimately putting us in the right... Anthony's just caught up and popped in a 0. Fantastic. Also, hype after it's finished. I think that's a thing. I don't understand the hype thing, but do that. How much are we paying for him? That I have an unconfirmed idea of, that I don't hugely want to discuss right now, because to be confirmed is what I'm going to say. Just subscribe. Thank you very much, Gordon. I appreciate that. But yes, if anyone either isn't following me or would just like to sort of ping me a picture of a plane, that'd be spectacular. I thought they fly to America because none of the medical staff are in England. I believe that there's going to be a few of them left behind, because the way that I look at it is it would be genuine insanity for the club to make it impossible for us to make any signings when we're on an international tour. It would be wise to leave at least some of the medical staff behind to go, right, okay, we can do a medical. Also, you can do medicals remotely at this point. That's fine enough. We know that we can in Leeds Beckett, for example, do sort of remote medical testing and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's sort of key. Anyway, James Trafford has touched down at Leeds Bradford Airport. We'll continue on the stream for a moment or so, but I feel like someone doesn't want us to continue the stream on for too long, which is fine. That's okay. That happened. 42 million plus add-ons says Pete Benno. Rich Bedford says 38 plus add-ons. What's a load of bollocks tracking flights? Well, you know what? You're here, as are over 600 other people. Thank you very much for showing up, by the way. Massively appreciate it. But as much as, yeah, it probably is bollocks, but it's fun. And if you're not got a sense of whimsy in your life, that feels like something that you should get. Because just have a little bit of fun. So thank you very much, Ash. Hold on. I want to see if...
Thanks for all the great content.
Why is he silent here? Hold on, I'm going to go over to this one. And I'm going to replay that so it plays the Welshman for Ash.
Thanks for all the great content.
My headphones aren't on. That explains so much. I'm assuming you guys heard the Welshman. I don't know. Does Leeds Bradford not have a webcam? I don't know. I know it did. I don't know if it still does. The baby saying it, like and subscribe. Yeah, we'll go with that. John and Lisa sound like a fun couple to be around. What else have they been saying? John? Yes, okay. Where's the info? It's James Trafford. That plane scheduled out of Leeds this morning, so likely just a positioning flight. But you would argue the same, considering it would have just positioned itself to Manchester yesterday, which is interesting. Where do you get the pictures in your background? That is from Display. That is from Display. That is a signed shirt from the promotion season. Here we are. At least have the cams in the evening, as it was very busy yesterday with quite a few streams. Isn't it repositioning? It's going to translate. Not as far as I'm aware. I've been relatively reliably informed that it's a club flight, which is wonderful. But what I'm going to do, because I'm currently getting the grabby hands, I am going to leave that there. If you enjoyed the stream, that would be... thank you very much for coming along. I know it was early in the morning, but if you enjoyed, pop a like on the stream. That'd be fantastic. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Become a channel member. All that fun kind of stuff. And, yeah. I hope you all enjoyed. Hopefully we've got more club official news on Trafford later. This was the same thing that brought in Noah last summer. There we go. We got even more information. But I'm going to pop that there. Change a baby's bottom. And see you all later. Toodaloo, me amigos. Yeah, someone's babbling away. Yeah. Toodaloo.